So over the desk, got this was an offcut, so it's 12.5 inches, just random. That's what it was. So I just, why trim off half an inch? What are you gonna do with that, right? Anyway, so that's a kind of a shelf above the desk that's mounted to the right to the studs. Normally, I would say I didn't want to do anything mounted to the walls, especially now because the walls are open. That's going to come back to bite me soon, okay? But for now, it was quick and easy, and I like that. I was ready to do the rest of this. I've already marked it, but I didn't want to do it yet until I knew if I was okay with that one. That one was set kind of an arbitrary height because it's going to be level with the windowsill. Okay, so the effect is going to be I'm going to have a continuous looking shelf that'll run most of the kitchen. This will probably stop before it gets to the wall. I'm going to do, I think, another 6 foot long piece. I think that's what that other one is. I've got some pre-cuts, offcuts already. So it's going to come all the way across, even with that, and then later I'll add another section that'll be right across the windowsill. So I've got, a nice flat shelf that's even with the windowsill. Part of that, I've got a few things that I like to set in the windowsill that have little solar panels on them. I've got the Lucy lights that my dad sent me. These are awesome. It's a little solar panel. It's got LED lights on the inside. The idea is the clear part is a diffuser, so it spreads the light a little more. It's actually inflated, so these would float. That's not part of the design, but it's got a little loop on the top. So these were made for Africa and other places that are using kerosene lighting, which is dangerous. It'll burn your thatch roof down, kind of thing, and it's poisonous gases and whatnot. Anyway, so what they did is they did a Kickstarter for these to get them out to the market. So for everyone you buy, they subsidize the ones going to Africa. Kind of cool. Works good, a lot of light. I just got to remember to put it in the windowsill, but it's too big. It always falls off the windowsill. So they're sitting on my desk right now. I've got a bunch of boards that were offcuts from when I made the trusses. They got this weird point on them. Some of them are just long enough that I can use them. So that's what we're going to do. The board that I'm using is like 18 inches. So I figured, all right, this is going to go all the way to the outside wall. I'm going to clamp it and screw it. I'll make sure it's level and flat and everything. And as long as it's got about 18 inches coming out, this part is still going to be temporary, probably. It's like this one extends out to about 16.5 inches. That's fine, right? It doesn't have to go right to the tip. Some that are going to be a little bit too short, I'll put on the end where it doesn't get as much load. What I'm going to use this for, this is still the temporary countertop. It's from the bus, but it may be here a year from now still. All right. I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about my perfect kitchen. Sorry, this is not where I spend a lot of time. I got a coffee maker and a microwave, and the rest of this is just cans of soup and oatmeal. On this, it's going to have more load because the microwave is going to be on it, and the crock pot, and probably the coffee maker. And then all of the other stuff will go underneath, and that should free up some room here. So I'm going to take a board, and I got to leave just enough room to get the screw in there. That's about it, kind of thing. Good. All right. So find the mark. Like so. I did a string line on this earlier. When I did the other one, I just followed the same string line. Holy shit, that one was right on. That never happens. One screw. Forward. So I like pre-drilling, especially on, most of the wood I end up using. If I'm going to put a screw close to the end, if I pre-drill it, it won't split as often. And 3-inch screws. Pre-drilling does help. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. The shelf that I'm going to put up here, it's offcut subfloor from the floor. So it's like this. It's twice as thick as OSB. So it's close to 3/4. It's probably not quite. Okay, so I'll just do a bunch more like that. I want to take advantage of the fact that I do have 8-foot ceilings in here instead of the bus had 6'2" in the middle and about 5 feet over at the edge. But yeah, it's just, the fact that I've got so much more ceiling space. I can touch the ceiling. I'm not even standing on my toes yet. So I've got, with boots on, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I can easily, I can reach the top shelf. That's one of my special skills in life, I think, is, they're like, what are you good at? I'm like, well, I can reach the top shelf. Oh, you're hired. Not everybody can do that. Yeah, dork mode engaged. Offcuts. What are you going to do with that aside from, vampires? Some of these, I actually cut the tip off, but here's the angle part from the truss, and so I just cut the tip off at 20 inches. That'll be the next one that'll go up here. And about like that, donk, do the same thing. We'll just go all the way down the line. It really didn't take very long. Last board. That's almost perfect. Let's move that out of the way. Ideally, you would build the house before you moved into it. Okay? Anybody who's ever done that would say that. It's much harder if every time you do something, you got to move everything out of the way. Having said that, it was cooler in the house than the bus by enough of a margin that I figured, you know what, I'll put up with that. As I'm kind of at a point now where every day, if I knock off 1 or 2 projects, it's getting better. I need to transition out of building the house, I guess is the best way to say it. Okay, 6 feet comes to here. The board is 6 feet long. We're good. Okay. Wire in the way. Now it's possible that none of these are the right height. But we're pretty close to this, maybe a 1/4 inch off. Within my margin of error. Because I don't want to knock it off. I think I will put a couple screws in it, like just 1 and 1. Good. Now the ultimate test, right? This is the heaviest thing that'll go up there. Let's see if it stays. It doesn't even move. Ta-da! Okay, I don't expect any visits from Better Home and Gardens or Good Housekeeping or whoever, but whoever those people are. This is kind of why I'm going slowly into shelves now that I've got the major stuff done, is I want to see, do I need more or not? Okay, so I've got a couple weeks worth of canned food there that I can see and get to without struggle. I've got enough room to make a sandwich. When I come into a project like this, that's why I decided to move into it sooner, because I had drawn it up and I had some ideas, but until you actually use it, right? Because this countertop here is what was in the bus. That's what's missing, is the stove. I've got a propane stove that I should put in here somewhere. I'm gonna work it like this and just use it for a few more days and see how I like it. That canister, because all I do is I heat up, like I boil a cup of water for oatmeal in the morning. Sometimes I make eggs. Now I got all the food and stuff underneath. That's pretty much what I need. So I've got a few things, like, what is this, a 20-pound bag of pinto beans? Yeah, 20 pounds. So that's what I'm cooking in the slow cooker once in a while. About twice a week I'll do that. I can run the slow cooker on the solar panels if it's a sunny day. Yeah, so instead of having cabinets and shelves underneath, I've just used totes, and some of those totes don't even belong there, I don't think, but it's like, okay, extra stuff, just throw it down there, pull it out when you need it, push it back in. That worked well enough in the bus, and I figured for now it's good enough. By doing it this way first, I haven't committed to this countertop. This is a workbench. If I decide to make a proper countertop, this will go out in the shop. That'd be that. Simple and easy.